Good evening, friends. On behalf of Palashruti Shikshan Mandal directors, advisors, and staff, it gives me immense joy to extend a warm welcome to one and all to this first webinar of Palashruti for the academic session 2021-2022. As you are all aware, how the second wave has disrupted the normal life across the world, but I wish to congratulate each one of you as you have faced the challenge so bravely by staying indoors, healthy, happy, safe, and eventually you have also adapted to virtual learning during the closure of your colleges. And now I know all of you are eagerly waiting to go back to the college, but you are worried about your safety, which is a very, very genuine point. So, since it is the biggest challenge, let us consider this challenge as an opportunity to learn and face every other difficult event in the near future. The fact that you are attending the webinar itself is in a proof that you are all ready to go one extra mile for to climb the ladder of success. And Falashruti is here to help you to turn your dreams into reality. So before I begin, I would like to announce that if you have any doubts, you can please put it in the chat box and we would definitely answer your queries once the session is over. To introduce myself, I am Mrs. Beena Gole, the retired principal of Swami Vivekanand High School and Junior College, and now I am the advisor in Palashruti Shikshan Mandal. Palashruti Shikshan Mandal has a well-earned reputation of guiding and preparing SSC and HSC students for the last 3 decades. Now, there are a number of coaching classes which have mushroomed in the last 20 years. But what distinguishes Falashruti from other coaching classes can be seen from the slides which I'll be presenting right now. Goddess Saraswati is considered as the epitome of education and knowledge. We worship Goddess Saraswati to remove the darkness of mind and bless us with a clear vision and knowledge. And without seeking her blessings, it is impossible to achieve our goals. Palashruti Shikshan Mandal, the directors take this opportunity to once again cordially welcome all the parents and students to the webinar of for HSC students on this auspicious day. Palashruti Shikshan Mandal is run by a group of experienced teachers. Our legacy is of delivering outstanding results for past so many years. 33 years and on, we have been providing focused and result-oriented test preparation. Our test that we conduct is just not to conduct a test, but we ensure that every test that is written by the student is highly what you call it as we see to it that the students take full efforts to write down the papers and then it is corrected by all experts from the board who are connected to SSC board, and then they help the students in mastering the writing skills according to the board expectations. And the presentation technique is also giving lot of importance because we normally feel that we have to write the paper and finish the paper, but we do not know how we have to present the paper. We know, though we know the subject matter, but writing the correct points to impress or you can say to capture the minds of the examiner, it is very important that we know how to present our subject and how to complete the paper within the time limit that is given to us. Once the papers are corrected by the examiners, it goes back to the students. And after the students get the paper in their hand, they come to know what are the exact mistakes which they have made because the examiner makes it a point to write down the mistakes. What is the expectation from the examiner point of view? All these minute details are since they are pointed out and written in the question paper, answer paper, the student gets a very clear idea as to what is expected from the board. So once you get the paper in your hand, we have a special session which is called as a face-to-face guidance session where the teacher and the student will sit across the table online. Generally, it is on the Google Meet, and then you can discuss it. Whatever doubts you have, you can discuss it along with your paper with your expert and try to clear all the doubt which is there in your mind. When you have this particular session, you will not find any other student around you. So you have the full privacy to ask your doubts and to clear all the concepts that you wanted to clear. Because of these efforts by our mentors, we have been able to achieve very good results, and so far we have achieved more than 10,000 students who have been the rankers and toppers since 1996. Due to our results, our popularity for this test series grew in leaps and bounds. Due to the demand of the ex-students, these 10 standard students who have passed out, they pressurized the Falashruti Shikshan Mandal to continue with the same procedure for the 12th standard also. And this is how 12th standard students also started getting the benefit from Falashruti. So we are very proud that we have started with the 12th standard art, science, commerce test series, and it includes all the subjects right from languages to your vocational subjects. The second wave was probably one of the worst crises that each one of us have faced. Despite all constraints, Falashruti took the opportunity and opened the doors of technology to tackle this challenge. Falashruti believed in sharing all their experiences, their expertise, and resources with the student community. We have a lot of experienced teachers with us. They are either the moderators or the examiners at the board level. So we definitely come to know what is expected from the student community. And we wanted to share this among the students. Therefore, Falashruti took up this challenge and started the digital platform to reduce the stress level of the students. And I am very happy to tell you that since last year, ever since we transited from the offline to the online mode, students have given a very good response to this, and they felt that their stress level has reduced. The parents also felt that the students are saving their time since they did not have to visit the centers for submission of their answer papers. In the past, there used to be 3 to 4 centers, and students from different parts of the Bombay had to travel every Saturday, Sunday, or to those centers for their guidance lectures, for submission of papers, for collection of answer papers, and so on. So, a SSC or an SSC student used to waste so much of time traveling up and down only to collect the papers and to get the guidance. But with this technology that we have started, students have really saved their time, their energy of visiting the centers, which has made their life very, very easy. And when we have the face-to-face guidance, it is conducted from your comfort zone, that is from your own house, from your own bed. So on your own sofa, you can sit and have all the discussions that you want to have along with the examiners and the subject experts. The students utilize their time to focus on their writing skills and discover their true potential. Every child has some or other hidden talent in them, and that talent is discovered and it is to the limelight by the experts who are there during the face-to-face guidance. And we are very proud to say that we are not a coaching class. We only conduct test series. We focus on enhancing one's writing skills and also help the student in practicing time management, which is very, very important. Sometimes it so happens that when we start writing a paper, we write one particular question in so much of depth that we forget that we have to attempt the full paper. And by the time you come to the last question, you feel that you are running short of time, and then you just scribble out something and then come out of the hall. This should not happen. This is exactly how we are going to train you how to write the paper so that you can have very well last 10 minutes for your revision. Along with the completion of the paper, you have 10 minutes for revision too. Then we provide you an opportunity to meet the faculty on one-to-one basis after each test is over. Suppose we are having the first test, say in the month of August. After the test is over, the teachers will do the paper correction and they will send it to you. We will have the face-to-face guidance. And before you write the second test, you will come to know exactly what is expected by the examiners in each subject. So according you start preparing for the next paper. This is an advantage to every student because unless and until you know the mistakes, you will not be able to improve on those mistakes. You will be carrying out the same mistakes in the next paper too. So we made it a point to see that before you write the next set of paper, you should be told what are the mistakes that you have made in the first set so that you do not repeat the same mistake in the second paper. These, along with this, we also have the orientation program for students and parents. And in this orientation program, we explain in details all the activities of Falashruti. Subject guidance videos are also provided to the students to understand about the paper pattern, the marking scheme, and give them study tips. These videos will be provided so that you can sit at home, relax. Whenever you have any doubt in a particular subject, you can open the videos and you can understand what was told to us and how you have to go about in improving your study tips. Then the answer papers which are submitted are corrected very, very strictly and with the tips for improvement in errors. If any errors are there, the errors are pointed out by the examiners and the missing points are notified on the answer paper. So you will just not find any tick mark in the paper. Along with the tick mark or along with the question cross mark, you will find the comment of the teacher on that particular for that particular answer. If it is wrong, then the teacher might, write down the entire answer for you and tell you that this is what is expected in this particular answer question. Along with this, we also give you the model answer paper after each test is over. So that when you get your corrected answer paper in your hand, you can compare your answer paper along with the model answer paper and you come to know exactly what is expected in this particular question. So this is the way how we prepare the students and tell them what are the missing points or what is not written or what should have been written. All these things are covered in this particular face-to-face guidance. The face-to-face guidance program is conducted by experts on Google platform for 100% conceptual clarity. Once you are out of the face-to-face guidance session, you will feel so relaxed and comfortable that you start gaining more and more confidence. And by the time you are through with all the test papers, you will just be waiting to write down the paper and appear for the board examination. Now, all these activities are mainly held on Saturdays and Sundays, but face-to-face guidance are held on weekdays also because sometimes the students are so busy on Saturdays, Sundays that we have no other option but to conduct it on weekdays. So if you see at a glance, what is the Falashruti offering? A conversion of all courses from offline to online from last year onwards. We prepare you from the basics to the advanced level. The question paper pattern is as per the revised syllabus of the board. The question papers are set by experienced teachers of the board. Model answer papers are given after each test. Online guidance of the answers, assessed answer papers are given, and the experts are there to help you out to clear all your doubts. So what does Falashruti offer for the HSC students? We have 4 test series, arts, commerce, and for science students. The activities that we conduct throughout the year is distribution of the writing materials for all test papers. If because we are having 4 test series, we will be giving you all the writing material on one particular day for all the test papers. You don't have to come every time to the center to collect the papers. One day you will be meeting where we will be giving you all the writing material, which will be utilized throughout the year for all the 4 tests. Then we will after you get the writing material, along with the writing material, you will be getting some other documents too, some other notes too. With the help of you can read those notes and be prepared for the second interactive session which we are going to have, and that is your online orientation program, both for students as well as for parents. Then, as I told you earlier, we'll be providing you with the videos of subject-wise guidance lectures so that you can sit at ease and watch the video as and when you find time and whenever you have any doubts. The paper writing work is basically done at home under the parent supervision. You can't be opening the book. You get almost a month's time or 3 weeks time to write all the 6 papers. So if you are not prepared with all the subjects, you plan your work in such a way that 1 week you study one particular subject, complete the portion, you write the paper, then you study the second subject. So if you plan your chalk out your timetable, I am sure you will be able to complete all the 6 papers within the time slot that is given to you to submit the papers. But you have to be honest enough to write these papers at home under the parent supervision. There is no point copying the answers from your textbooks, no point taking the help of your elders or your friends while you write the papers. The next activity which we have is the online 1:1 guidance, which will be provided to every student by experts prior to writing the next set of test. The details of all the activities are given in the prospectus, which we'll be uploading on your WhatsApp group once this session is over. And due to unforeseen circumstances, if any changes are made in the schedule, the students would be informed well in advance, and Falashruti would take up the responsibility to catch up with the lost time. The subjects which are offered are mentioned. You can see here on the screen the subjects which we are offering. For arts, commerce, and science, we have all the languages, including IT and German. And for the arts students, we have political science, psychology, sociology, economics, history, math, logic, philosophy. All these subjects which are conducted, the exams which are conducted by the board are given. We are giving them the preference, and the students can appear for this test. Same way for commerce, we have all the languages, plus we have our compulsory subjects, bookkeeping, economics, OC, math, or this option is secretarial practice. For the science students, once again, all languages. Along with languages, we have got physics, chemistry, math, and biology, computer science, electronics, as well as electrical maintenance. These are the centers for the material distribution: Dadar East, Vileparle East, Borivali West, Virar West, Ghatkopar West, which is our head office, Vashi Sector 1, Thane West, as well as Kalyan West. So, if we join our hands together, we are sure we will be able to reach the goal, and Falashruti Test Series is one-stop solution to all your worries. So let all your dreams come true if you have the courage to pursue them. So this is our website which I have shown over here, www.falashruti.com. You can register online and admission inquiry. For any admission inquiry, you can call on the numbers which are shown on the slides. So you can take the screenshot and we get back to us so that we can help you in seeking admission for the Falashruti Test Series. Now, this was just an introduction of what is Falashruti. But to get an in-depth knowledge of the different subjects, it is not possible to have all the subjects on one day. So we have invited eminent speakers for two subjects this time. One will be specially for arts and commerce, and the second subject will be specially for science students. So here I would request the students who are from the science faculty to join a different link which must have been provided to you right now on the chat box. Go through the chat box, and science students can join that particular link and attend the maths lecture which will be conducted by one of our eminent speaker, Dr. Santosh Singh. And the arts and commerce students will stay back in the same place, in the same room, in the same link, and wait for our economics lecture, which will be conducted by our eminent speaker, Ms. Anuja Inamdar. Now, I would like to invite our Anuradha Rane Madam, Arundhati Rane Madam. She is a retired vice principal of Ruparel College, and she has been in the teaching profession for the last 37 years. So, may I?
Thanks, Bina Madam.
Welcome.
I, Ms. Arundhati Rane, welcome you for this webinar of economics. Ms. Anuja Inamdar will be conducting the webinar of economics. She is MA, B.Ed, and is teaching in DG Ruparel Junior College for many years. She is with good communication skills and done various courses in using computer and internet for education. She is working with State Board curriculum and framework. She has worked as examiner for economics and environmental science for HSC Board. She's participated in national level faculty development program on how to create educational videos. I'm quite sure you will enjoy this session, which will be full of information and exam instructions of economics. So let us start the session. Over to Anuja madam.
Thank you, Rane ma'am. I hope I'm properly audible.
Yes.
All right. Good evening, all. I hope you all are safe and doing well. You all are studying or you all are appearing for HSC board examination in March 2022. So these next 6 months are very important for you to prepare yourself for the exam. A proper planning and time management has to be followed to give equal justice to all the subjects. So if you start preparing now by understanding the various economic concepts, and along with that, if you also give importance to the writing practice, then you will not be burdened in the last month and can revise the entire curriculum with great ease. So in our today's session, we will be discussing about it. To score good marks in economics, you should know the paper pattern, internal evaluation pattern, then we can say unit-wise weightage and so on. So in our today's session, we will be discussing about it all. So without wasting your further time, let's begin our today's session. Let me share the screen first. Okay, now you all have already been acquainted with economics as a subject, right? Last year in FICC, we had discussed the concepts like poverty, unemployment, then globalization, Niti Aayog, economic planning. So all those concepts were related to one of the branch of economics, that is nothing but Indian economics. But this year, we will be discussing about the two important and very traditional branches of economics, that is nothing but microeconomics and macroeconomics. Now, last year, Maharashtra Bureau of Textbook Production and Curriculum Research, they had basically revised the curriculum for 12th standard and had introduced new textbook for you all. So these are the few key features of the textbook. Let's quickly go through. First one is the curriculum is student centric. So if we look at all the chapters from the economics, from micro and macro part, both the we can say that the chapters are student centric. It's an activity based curriculum, and the activity based it also reflects in the question paper. So when we go through the 80 marks paper pattern, we will realize that out of which question number 5 is activity based curriculum. Third one, practical significance. Specifically, if we talk about the macroeconomic part, where we will be discussing the concepts like national income or the financial institution like Reserve Bank of India or capital market. So its theory functions we will be studying in macro, but in reality, those institutions are performing their function. So it's very much relevant for us to basically, relate to the functions that they are performing in the real world. Then the knowledge of micro and macroeconomics plays very important role to understand the overall development of our country. And the last one is it helps us or prepare you all to face the new challenges in the competitive age based on information and technology. Now, if we look at all the chapters given from the textbook, we realize that in the beginning also I have mentioned that this year we will be discussing about the two important branches, that is micro and macroeconomics. So if you look at the chapters given in the textbook, the first 5 chapters, they focus on the concepts of microeconomics. So the chapters like utility analysis, demand analysis, elasticity of demand, different forms of market, they discuss the microeconomic concepts. On the other hand, if we talk about the chapters from 7 to 10, they focus on macroeconomic concepts. So the chapters like national income, then you can say capital market, public economics, foreign trade, they discuss the macroeconomic concepts. And if we talk about the chapter number 6, which is nothing but the index number. So index number is based on the statistical analysis which we use in economics to measure many economic variables. So this is how we can say that our textbook this year we will be discussing about microeconomics, macroeconomics and some part of statistical analysis. Now let's come to the marks. When we talk about the economics as a subject, this subject carries 100 marks. So if we talk about the paper pattern, the 100 marks are divided into two different parts. Okay, we have 80-20 pattern for economics. Now, what do you mean by 80-20 pattern? 80 marks are allotted for the exam or the written paper which will be conducted by the board and for which the duration is 3 hours. And if we talk about the remaining marks, which is nothing but 20, for which internal assessment or internal evaluation will be there, and this internal evaluation will be conducted by your respective college, for which the duration is 1 hour. So it is very important for us to understand the pattern or the type of the questions that will be asked for 80 marks and 20 marks. Now let's begin with the 80 marks first. Now, if we talk about the 80 marks, we have total 6 questions for economics. Okay, and the 6 questions are basically designed in order to, we can say that the, for which objective type of the questions will be asked. Then short answers we have long answers, like that. So if we specifically talk about the question number 1, which is completely the objective type of the question. Okay, and for question number 1, the total marks are allotted is nothing but 20 marks. Okay, we have 4 different sub questions within this question number 1. So question number 1 will be question number 1A, B, C and D. So 4 different sub questions will be asked in case of question number 1. Now which 4 sub questions? Here they have specifically given the 8 parameters. Parameters in the sense 8 different forms of the question. So out of these 8 different types, any 4 different types of the question will be asked as a sub question in the exam. So we should be very much comfortable in answering all these 8 different types of the questions. Now, in case of question number 1, each sub question will be asked for 5 marks. So in the each sub question, we will be having 5 statements, okay, and each statement carries 1 mark. So this is how 4 different types of sub questions will be there. 5 4s are 20. This is how the marks are split up in case of question number 1. So it is very important for us to understand how to answer the each sub question. So let's basically discuss each one in detail. The first parameter, if we look at, it is choose the correct option. So let's discuss how to answer this kind of a parameter. In this kind of a question, you will get a statement along with 4 different options. Okay, so we need to read the statement first, and the correct answer, the correct option we are supposed to select, and that option we will write as a answer. Now if we look at this statement, the correct answer with reference to this statement is nothing but B, that is Ragnar Frisch. So the point here to remember is that we need to write the option alphabet or a number as it is, along with that the answer that it carries. Okay, the term that particular option alphabet or number carries. Okay, so when we will be writing answer, we will be writing as B Ragnar Frisch. We will not write only B as an answer, not only the term that is Ragnar Frisch we will be writing. So this is very much important, and remember for all the different types of objectives. Let's move further. The second parameter is complete the correlation. Now, what is this kind of objective? Here, you will not get options, but its pattern is different. Here, you can observe that the question will be asked in the two pairs. You will get two pairs, out of which one complete pair you will get. Okay, and if we look at this another pair, out of which only one term is given. So we need to first state the relationship between the pair which is given to us. We need to find out the relationship, and accordingly for the second term we are supposed to find the answer. Now if we talk about the concept, let me tell you all, this is a concept of trade deficit. If you look at its pair, it's a symbolical form in which that concept is expressed. So what is the pattern? Concept and symbolical form. So similarly, we need to exactly find the symbolical form for the concept of trade surplus. So accordingly, we will write the answer in symbolical form itself. So understanding the relationship between the pair which is given in the question is very important to find out the answer for the next term. This is how we will solve this question. Our third parameter is give economic term. Now, in the case of give economic term, we realize that here we get a different kind of a question, that here we get either a definition or the concept or the definition or the meaning of any economic concept. Okay, now what we are supposed to do? Many times when you will read the textbook, you will find the glossary on page number 90. Okay, so 90 onwards specifically. So those definitions, the meaning of the concepts are very much important to get full marks in this kind of a question. Always remember that to get full marks in the objective, your concepts has to be very strong. Concepts in the sense, its meaning and definition should be very much clear to you. If your concepts are strong, it will help you a lot to get full marks in case of objective type of the question, which is quite a scoring type of the question if we look at the overall paper pattern. Let's come back to this question, give economic term. Here we get the definition. So we need to read the definition and identify the term of the respective question. So if we look at this particular definition, it's nothing but a definition of the concept of subsidy. So whichever that economic term is, we are supposed to identify that. Again, no options we will get in this kind of a objective. Let's move to the fourth parameter, which is very much known to us, that is find the odd word out. The another advantage we will get in case of economics is nothing but a kind of a key term along with the odd words. Okay, now usually in case of odd word we get a group of terms, okay, and we need to just state the relation between the terms and pick up the odd word. But here in case of economics we get one key term also, that is a kind of a clue, yeah, which will help us in order to pick the odd word very easily. So if we look at the terms are talking about the quantitative tools. So it will help, that clue term or the key term will help us in order to find out the wrong word. So if we look at the answer, then our answer, the term which is not coming to the category of quantitative tools is foreign exchange rate. So this key term is very much important because that is a kind of a clue we will get to find out the correct answer. Let's move further. That is, next parameter is complete the following statements. In case of complete the following statement, it's very simple. Here we get one kind of a fill in the blank and 4 different options will be there. So we need to read the question thoroughly and we need to pick up the correct answer from the given option. So again, the same thing that we have basically have seen in case of choose the correct alternative. While answering this kind of a question, we will be writing the correct, we can say that the option number or alphabet given, and along with that the term that this respective, we can say that the option number or alphabet carries. So with reference to this respective answer, this respective question, our answer is B, cardinal. So we will be writing that as a answer. The next parameter is choose the wrong pair. Now, choose the wrong pair. If you look at this kind of a question, here we get the 2 different columns, group A and group B. And in this group A and B, we will basically get the 4 different kind of the pair. So we need to basically read the pair thoroughly and the wrong pair we need to identify. So therefore, if we look at the question which is given to us, the second pair, that is joint demand tea and coffee, is the wrong pair. Because tea and coffee are the substitute commodities, they are not joint commodities. Okay, so therefore the joint demand tea and coffee is our respective wrong pair, and therefore that will be that we will write as a answer. Let's move to the next parameter. The next parameter is very important. That is nothing but assertion and reasoning type of question. True and false. We have already, attempted these kind of the question. The assertion and the reasoning is nothing but the extension of the question of true and false. So here, in this kind of in case of one statement, we will get assertion, reasoning, and the 4 different options. Okay, so how to solve this kind of a question? First, we need to read the assertion statement. Okay, the trick to solve this kind of a question is, whatever the assertion statement is given to us, we need to decide after reading it whether that statement is true or false. We will not read the reasoning first. We will first read the assertion and decide whether it is true or false. So if we assume that this statement is supposed true, once we have identified that, then we will read the reasoning statement. So once similar like assertion, if we read the reasoning statement, we just decide, suppose let's decide that the reasoning is false. So once you identify the assertion and reasoning is true or false, that makes you very clear and that will help you to choose the correct answer. So now in this case, you will observe that assertion is true and reasoning is false. So if you go to the options, it will help you a lot to select the correct answer. That is A. That is A is true, that is assertion is true, but reasoning is false. Okay, but on the other hand, the second possibility with reference to this particular question we have is nothing but when both the statements are true. It means assertion is also, we already have, it is true. In case of reasoning, we also find that the reasoning is also true. Then you can look at the answer will definitely come from the third and the fourth option. Okay, but if it is so, the second part is very important of the option 3 and option 4, that is reasoning is the correct explanation of assertion. If both the statements are true, we need to ask the question to the reasoning that whether the reasoning statement is it the correct explanation of our assertion statement. And if it is so, then our answer will be definitely the option number 3. And if we get the answer as no, then our answer will be option number 4. So if we talk about this respective question, because both the statements are true, and if we ask the question to the reasoning, then we will get the answer is yes, reasoning is the correct explanation of the assertion statement, and therefore in this kind of a case, our answer is third option. So this is quite tricky question. Always remember that we will first decide whether our assertion is true or false, then we will come to the reasoning, we will decide whether it is true or false, and then only we look at the option. Yeah. Let's move further. The last parameter from the objective is identify the right group of pairs from the given option. Here also we will get two columns. Along with that, we will also get the options. So similar like match the column, we need to find the answers for the terms which are there from the group A, and accordingly we need to choose the correct option number. So in this case, our correct option number is nothing but the first one. So again, we will follow the same rule. We will write the option number or alphabet first, and whatever the term that option number or alphabet carries. So therefore, these are the 8 parameters that we need to keep in mind when we are solving the objective type of the question. Let's move further to the question number 2. Now the question number 2 is identify. Again, question number 2, we have a 2 sub question, A and B, where A question is nothing but identify and explain the concepts from the given illustration. So here we get the illustration and we need to read that illustration and we need to identify the economic term, and not to identify, but we also have to elaborate that. Here you will also get the option. So out of 5, you are supposed to ask any 3 different type of the question, where the each illustration will be asked for 2 marks. So there were 3 2s are 6. Total marks this A sub question will carry is nothing but 6 marks. So again, the 2 marks are divided among the 2 different parts. As I said earlier, let's take first example, then I will explain that. Here the illustration you will get. So if I read this, Ashish collected the data regarding the money value of all final goods and services produced in the country for the financial year 2018-19. Okay, so if I read this illustration, then you are supposed to find out the term that illustration talks about. So the term is nothing but national income. So this is nothing but 1 mark out of 2 will be given for the identification of the term. So if you identify this term correctly, 1 mark will be given to you, and the remaining another mark will be there for the explanation. Now question is what to write as an explanation. In this kind of explanation, we will write the definition or the meaning of that respective term. So here, in the case of national income, we can write its definition given in the textbook. And always remember that we don't need to write a very long explanation for this kind of answer. Our explanation or the meaning has to be of 2 to 3 lines, not more than that. So therefore, I again repeat, definition or the meaning only we will write for illustration. So 1 mark will be kept for the explanation. This is how the 2 marks are divided in case of question number 2A. In case of a B, the question is distinguish between. So very common question. Here also you will get options. So out of 5, you are supposed to attempt any 3, where each question, each distinguish will be asked for, it carries 2 marks. Okay, so the total marks given to question number 2B is 3 2s are 6 marks. So if we talk about the distinction, here always remember that according to board, you are supposed to write down any 2 points, the correct 2 points for the distinction. But again, in my opinion, it's always better if you prepare yourself with minimum 3 points. Okay, why? The reason is because it may happen that at the time of exam, you may not able to recall the another, the second point or maybe the first point. Then you may be wasting your time in recalling the second point. But if you are already prepared with some backup, then you can obviously utilize the another point that you are remembering at that time and can use it. So therefore, always remember that we will be preparing the 3 different points for the distinction. Now, one important thing we need to remember that if we are writing the 2 or 3 points, our first point has to be the meaning and definition. We will prefer to write the first point as a meaning and definition. Then another point, you can write it as an example. Then we have many graphs in case of microeconomic concepts, specifically with reference to elasticity of demand chapter. So you can also use the shape of curve as your point. Like in case of perfectly elastic demand, our demand curve is a flatter. In case of perfectly inelastic, our demand curve is steeper. So that we call as a shape of curve. So that point you can also write it as another point. Similarly, you can also use the graphs for the different concepts we have, that you can draw the diagram and the graph as a second point. So this is how we can attempt the question number 2B. Let's move to the short answer question, that is question number 3. Question is, answer the following question. Now this is a short answer question. Till now we were in the category of objective kind of the question. In case of question number 3, here also out of 5 we are supposed to attempt any 3 questions. Okay, where each our question carries 4 marks. So therefore 4 3s are 12. Total marks allotted to question number 3 is 12 marks. Now, if we talk about the type of the questions that usually asked for question number 3, is the list is here, that types of deposit, functions of central bank, then features of monopoly. If we look at the overall pattern of these questions, that we will prefer to write our answers in economics point wise. Again, there is no hardcore rule, okay, or a compulsion to write the answer point wise. But there are 2, we can say, that the major benefits we have. The first benefit is about the textbook. If you look at the chapters from the microeconomics and even from the macroeconomic part, we have the content given to us in point wise itself. So 2 benefits we have to write the answer point wise. First is easy to revise and recall. Okay, it is easy to remember also when we are learning anything in point wise. And secondly, that it looks very good when we are writing the answer on the answer sheet, where we can give the heading to the point, we can underline that. So some systematic pattern we will get when we are writing point wise. So we prefer to write the answers point wise in case of short answers. For short answers, we will try to write nearly 4 to 5 points for the each correct answer. Okay, and there are few questions. If I specifically mention, the question is, explain the circular flow of national income, okay, or law of diminishing marginal utility. Now these sub questions, these specifically question, they demands diagram and schedule. Now schedule is nothing but the numerical table. Specifically for laws, we have schedule. So that schedule, drawing that diagram and the schedule is very much important for the short answers. So again, if the question demands the diagram or the schedule, we will be drawing so with respect to the while answering such kind of the question. For the rest, if we talk about the function features, we can write the answer point wise. So we'll prefer to write the answer point wise in case of short answers. Nearly 4 to 5 features or the functions are expected when we are writing the question number 3. Let's move further. Question number 4 is, state with reasons whether you are agree or disagree with the following statements. So here we get the statement, okay, and we need to first identify whether we will agree or disagree with the statement, and the later part of the answer is we need to state with reasons. We need to basically write reasons why we are agree or disagree with the question. Okay, here also we get option. Out of 5, we are supposed to attempt any 3 questions, where each question carries 4 marks. So again, question 4 carries overall 12 marks. The 4 marks here we can observe are further divided among 1 plus 3, where 1 mark is clearly given for stating agree or disagree. So first, in the beginning of the answer, we have to state whether we are agree or disagree. Okay, but we will not write the term only agree or disagree. We will write that with reference to a complete statement. Okay, and the remaining 3 marks are given for the explanation, for our reasons. Again, here we will write the reason point wise. Nearly 5 points we are supposed to write down for the each correct answer. Again, if the question demands diagram or examples, schedule, we will draw it or we will give examples, again depending upon the question. Let me give you example to make it very clear. If we go through the first example, the example is price is the only determinant of demand. If this is the statement, as I stated earlier, we need to first state whether we are agree or disagree. So here now we are disagree with this statement. So how we will write? We will write the disagree in a complete statement, that I disagree with the statement. Writing this single statement, if you write it correctly, you will get 1 mark over here. And the remaining 3 marks are there for the explanation. So in reasons, we will explain nearly 4 to 5 points, the other determinants other than the price, which are basically of demand. So this is how we are supposed to attempt question number 4. Our question number 5 from the economics is nothing but the activity based question. Yeah, one of the feature of the curriculum we have seen in the beginning. Here we basically get the 3 different kind of options, that is A, B and C. Okay, and among the 3 we are supposed to attempt any 2 different forms. Here we get a question in the form of a numerical table, then figure, that is a kind of a diagram, and third option we have is a passage. Okay, so out of 3 we are supposed to attempt any 2. Like you can attempt either a passage or a table, or we can say a diagram and passage according to your convenience. It may possible that here we get the unseen passage. Okay, kind of a comprehensive passage we usually get, and below that the 4 different types of the questions will be there. Here each subform, that is each question over here will be asked for 4 marks. Okay, and any 2 forms we are supposed to attempt. So total marks which is given to this question is 8 marks. Now important thing over here is that, again I state in the just now, that the passage or that diagram or we can say a table may not be from the textbook. Okay, it may be unseen, we can say that the passage obviously related to the topic which are from our curriculum, but may be unseen. And if we look at the question from this question number 5, the last question will be your opinion based question. It means in the last question they will ask you your opinion regarding that particular topic which is mentioned in the passage, or the numerical values are given, or with reference to the pie chart or a bar diagram in case of that diagram. Now it is very important to prepare with the prepare for the question number 5, because for the other question we can go through the textbook, we can learn the answer, but for question number 5 we are supposed to, we can say that the put our daily 5 minutes, rather I should use the term invest our daily 5 minutes in order to read the news channels, in order to read newspaper. Then you can also go through, we can say that the news channels, but on which we will be reading the news related to the economics. Okay, so nowadays you can have the different applications on the smartphone also for the newspaper, so you can download the one, and daily 5 minutes you just have to read the news. Okay, so we will be in that touch with the economic affairs, so that will gives us the knowledge, we will be updated with the what's going on in the country. And if the question is suppose asked with reference to that particular topic, you should be in the position to frame your opinion and write it very efficiently. So for the question number 5, one additional preparation we are supposed to do that we need to invest the daily 5 minutes in going through, we can say, all the economic affairs with the economic affairs that will help us to answer this question and get 8 marks completely. And the most important question from the entire question paper pattern is question number 6, because it's a long answer question. The question is answer in detail. So here out of 3, we are supposed to write down any two different types of question where each question will be asked for 8 marks. Okay, so 8 twos are 16. Total marks, 16 marks are allotted for question number 6. We will be start answering this kind of the question always with the introduction. Okay, so if the question is explain the law of demand, we will always begin the answer with the introduction of the law. Not in case of law, but other different types of the question also that will be asked for 6 marks. Okay, if we are getting the question specifically, we have different kind of the laws in case of microeconomics. We have law of diminishing marginal utility, law of demand, law of supply, then law of the, we can say equi-marginal utility. So all these laws will be asked, mostly asked for the question number 6. So we need to write the introduction, then the assumption, diagram, schedule for the laws. Okay, and again, if the law asks for the assumption, then we will explain the assumption. If in the question, if they have specifically mentioned the exceptions, then we will elaborate the exceptions. But if the question is like explain the methods of measuring national income, for such a type of the questions other than laws, we are supposed to write down minimum 6 to 8 points along with the proper explanation. Okay, so for the difficulties, we need to elaborate nearly 6 to 8 difficulties along with the proper explanation and introduction. So this is basically about the 18 marks paper. Now we are moving to the 20 marks, that is internal evaluation. We will be discussing the structure for the internal evaluation. Now, one important thing we need to remember that even the internal evaluation will be conducted by your respective college on the complete syllabus. Okay, on the entire syllabus. Here the test should be conducted for 20 marks and the test should be based on the entire syllabus. The time allotment for the test is 1 hour. So a college will display the proper timetable to conduct the internal evaluation. Now let's go through the pattern. If you remember, while discussing the 80 marks pattern, we discuss about the question number 1 for the objective 8 parameters, right? So here, in case of internal evaluation also, any 4 parameters out of 8 can be asked over here. So here the pattern given for the economics is question number 1 is choose the correct option, which will be there for 4 marks. So 4 statement we will be having for internal. Each statement carries 1 mark. Then second question is find the odd word out, which is also there for 4 marks. Third question is complete the correlation, which will be also there for 4 marks, and give economic term. Okay, always remember that they can use any 4 parameters out of 8 parameters that we just discussed while discussing the pattern for 18 marks. And the last question for the internal is your situation, and they will ask you write your opinion regarding the situation. So the 2 situations will be given to you in the form of a comprehensive passage, and on that while reading that particular, after reading that particular passage, you are supposed to state your opinion, for which 2 marks will be given to the each situation. This is how the 20 marks are divided for the internal evaluation. Now another important part is nothing but unit-wise weightage. Okay, so these are the chapters we will be studying in case of economics. So if we look at the total marks column, this specifically column, we can observe that the chapters like 3A, demand analysis, then elasticity of demand, then if we go look at the 6th chapter, index number, 7th chapter, national income, public finance, money market and capital market, carries the maximum marks, that is nothing but 8 marks. Okay, if you look at the chapters like introduction to micro and macroeconomics, 2nd chapter, utility analysis, 4th and the 5th chapter, which carries equal marks, that is 7 marks. So if we look at overall the first 9 chapters which carries maximum marks, because the last chapter, that is foreign trade in India, carries the lesser marks. Always remember that when you will prepare for the exam, kindly do not completely rely on the unit wise weightage. It is very important to give equal importance to all the chapters which are there in case of textbook. Now let's discuss the guidelines that will definitely help you to write the paper in the efficient manner. So first one is, you will always start answering the question on the new page. Like new question, you are supposed to attempt on the new page. Okay. Write question number and sub question number properly. Very important, because for in case of question number 1, 2, we have sub question A, B, C, D. Yeah, or even in case of second question, we have sub question like A and B. So always remember that you are supposed to write down the question number and sub question properly. To prepare for the answers, textbook is the most important source that we have. So textbook is the most important tool to refer for the study, for the answers. Yeah, the content which is given, the laws we have, or the answers, the point-wise answer we have in the textbook is very important. So always rely on the content which is given in the textbook rather than referring any other material. Important part with reference to your handwriting, that your handwriting presentation also plays very important role. So your handwriting should be readable and neat. Yeah, we have discussed in case of 80 marks paper that we will be writing the answer point wise. Yeah, so if you look at the textbook, we have the headings and the explanation. Always remember that when you are writing in the exam, we are supposed to give headings to the points, and we will underline the headings with reference to with the help of pencil. To get good marks in the objective type of the question, solving exercises are very important, which is given in the textbook. And again, to make your concept stronger, you are supposed to read the chapters thoroughly, and major important part is glossary section. Yeah, so that also you will be reading thoroughly. Make sure that you read at least once a week. Then selection of the questions, very important in case of economics. Very important part is nothing but the time management. Okay, because many times we realize that we are supposed to write down short answers, long answers. Yeah, so that that we are supposed to manage the time very importantly. We need to divide, make sure that we are giving equal justice to all the questions that we are attempting. And there should be a coordination between the length of your answer, your writing speed, and time. For question number 5, we also discussed that invest daily 5 minutes to read the newspaper. Okay, so make sure that you should know what the economic problems or what the things are going on in our country, and again with reference to the world. So current affairs is also very important to basically frame your opinion in case of question number 5. Then in case of microeconomics specifically, we have many graphs, diagrams, specifically for demand chapter, elasticity of demand. So you are supposed to make sure that you will practice those graphs regularly. Okay, because we have a backward bending curve, we have a different, the shape of the curve is also different, like flatter, steeper. So we need to make sure that we are showing very correctly. And always we will you make sure that you will be using the pencils to draw the diagram on a graph. For index number, we have different formulas. We will be having the sums on price index number, quantity, value index number. So for which formulas are very important. Interpretation of the formula is very important. So make sure that you learn the formulas very correctly. Even the solve examples and the exercises we have to practice the index number sums. So that also we need to follow. One very important thing with reference to the graph is nothing but we need to label the graph very properly. It's specifically, if you observe the image, then whenever we are drawing any particular graph, we need to state that which variable we are measuring on x-axis. So here, if you observe, on x-axis we are measuring quantity demanded and supply. On y-axis we are measuring price in per kg. So that variable we are supposed to write it correctly. Even if you look at the specifically the curve. For demand curve, DD is already mentioned. For supply curve, they have already write it in the notation SS. So this naming the curve or labeling the curve and the overall diagram is very much important, because diagram and the graphs also carries marks with reference to the laws. So this is basically about our overall, we can say that the paper pattern and the internal evaluation. So I hope that whatever we have discussed for the pattern for 80 marks and internal evaluation is very much clear to you. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anuja madam, for this very informative and interesting session. Students must have enjoyed the session. As you all know, in this pandemic, the online classes are going on, which lack the skill of paper writing, and exactly that is provided by Falashruti by giving practice of 4 test series. They are assessed by teachers who are examiners and moderators for HSC board. And online one-to-one guidance is given, which focuses on mistakes done by the students and the improvement of their answers and presentations. And this boosts the confidence and merit of the students. So let us see you all in Falashruti. Thank you.
Sagama, Padama.